Welcome to the Veza Digital podcast. My name is Mario Milanovic. I'll be the host. And with me today, I have Stefan Katanic, who is the founder and CEO of Veza Digital. And we're super excited to get this podcast going. We have a lot of interesting guests coming up, including a couple of billionaires. And no, it's not Elon Musk, but maybe in a couple of years. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. We're going to try to get into the minds of entrepreneurs, startup people. We're going to get into the digital space. We're going to be talking a lot about how to make money and how to position yourself properly in the today's digital space, I suppose. And we're going to look back on this podcast in a couple of years and probably laugh about it. And, but you got to start somewhere. I think it's going to be really fun. We're going to be talking about a lot of different topics. And today I have Stefan with me. So it's our first episode. So welcome, Stefan. And maybe you can do a little bit of an intro and how we got to do this and why we're doing this. And that's it. So here we go.
Well, this is our first time doing this. It's actually our first episode, take number 3. Because we can't get used to the software and all these different things. But Mario, I'm super excited to do this with you and build the Veza podcast. I think there's a lot of value that we're going to be giving to our community and the people that we have involved with Veza Digital. And I also believe that there are a lot of people out there that are going to use this as a source of information of who's who, what they know, how they know it, and how they can apply it to their business. So I think this is a really good right step forward for all of us. And I think that this is going to be the one of the biggest content drivers for us, and we're leading by example, so I want this to be, the podcast that, our team even references for different ideas, inspiration, motivation, and that stuff. So and when I founded Veza Digital 6 years ago, man, like for me, I was so involved myself in like listening to podcasts, reading books, doing these kind of things. So I know the value that I could get from it, right? Now it's my turn to basically, my last 6 years of working hard at this, I'm putting myself out there and giving my own value to the world, right? Because I have the results for it. I have the agency for it. It's all there. Now it's like, this knowledge in my head needs an output. And I think this podcast is really my best way to do it now. It's good practice to actually get in front of a camera and start speaking more and more and getting more confident with it, right? So episode 1, here we go.
Absolutely. That's great. So, we kind of live all over the world. I think one of the fun parts about being in this space is that, we travel, right now, Stefan is in Toronto, Canada. I'm currently in Koh Samui in Thailand, and we're meeting up in a couple of weeks in Europe. And we have people all over the world. And I think it's super exciting to be able to travel to different places and meet up with especially clients. I know, Stefan, you just got back from a really intensive trip with your clients. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because that's really cool. I think we talked about how in this day and age where people are trying to avoid human contact, so to speak, and only want to do things by Zoom, I think that, Veza Digital has really made it a priority to speak to clients in person and be able to build those relationships because, at the end of the day, business is about relationships, right? So why don't you tell us a little bit about your last trip, and what you do and how you do it and everything. I think it's super exciting, for people to know about that.
Growing up, I always loved traveling, so it was something that I always wanted to consistently do throughout my life. And I want to structure my life around seeing new places, feeling different types of beaches, meeting new kinds of people. And I purposely engineered a life for myself where, my job, my life is all about that. So I take the things that I love in life and I combine them into one, right? So, for some people, like it was an intensive travel schedule. Yeah, it was intensive, but I had one hell of a time, man. For me, it was super fun being in new cities, meeting new people, driving cool kinds of cars, eating at the best restaurants, that local specialty, like clam chowder in Sacramento. Like, come on, it's better than the one in San Francisco. I didn't even know. So it's things like that. And like this last trip, we made an intention to go and meet our clients face to face because we have ambitious goals for 2023. I know that they do as well. And we wanted to see, how can we combine the work ethic that both of our companies have, right? And how can we help you, drive more bottom line, get more leads, design a kick-ass website that could be done for rewards. What is it that, we can do as a marketing team, as a professional marketing team, to help that brand get to their goals? Because the reality is, man, and you know this better than anyone else, like people hire internal teams with the expectations they're going to reach those goals, but what they miss is that learning curve, right? They don't account for the learning curve, and it's actually like a lagging indicator that's unseen at the moment, right? And hiring an agency versus, someone coming in from maybe the same industry but a different company, an agency like us, our primary bread and butter is B2B SaaS companies, and we know what it takes to actually build a marketing website, get traffic on that website, convert them, and nurture them into becoming marketing qualified leads or sales qualified leads. And, as this industry is ruthlessly competitive, what is our edge, right? Yeah, we have a cool kick-ass website. We got good people working for us, but really what's making us different? We go out to the people, we meet them, we show them that, hey, look, like we have skin in the game too. We could have easily been on a beach in Koh Samui for the whole winter time, not go to New York City and freeze with all the wind happening behind those buildings and everything. We could have easily done that. And then when our clients see that, they appreciate it. They know that we're real. They know that we're on their level. They know that they have a partner they can lean on. So that's one of the many aspects that I've engineered into like the lifestyle that I live.
Yeah, but take us through the whole trip, because it was interesting, because I know when one of our business develop guys told me about it, I was like dizzy just thinking about it, right? So you flew basically you were in Toronto, right?
Actually, so Jamal, our biz dev guy,
yep.
He was like, he's actually coming from Koh Samui, right?
Yeah, he was here for a couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah, he was there for a couple of weeks, and basically he caught that flight that was a day before our flight for San Francisco was supposed to leave. I'm just like, man, this guy's going to get like, when they shake a martini? I'm like, he's shaking between different time zones, man. Anyways, but he got to Toronto, got some rest. Next day, we flew directly to San Francisco. And I made sure to book business class because I know this guy's going to be exhausted. I need him for this trip, sleep, eat, drink, relax, just rest for these next 5.5 hours. So we get to San Francisco and it's nighttime. It's like 8 o'clock at night and it just rained. You smell it. You smell like the freshness. And it's just like, oh, fresh start, like chaos just happened here. Me and Jamal just landed. Our car's on the way. We're ready to go. We're ready to hit this mission, like let's go city by city. So we drove from San Francisco up to Sacramento to meet with WebConnects. They're a B2B ticketing platform for online events registration. They work with startups. They work with small businesses. They work with enterprises, and they have a lot of different product categories. And they brought us on board this year to help them out with their performance marketing through paid search, paid social, some retargeting, content marketing, CRO, all that, very growth-oriented venture marketing stuff. And they wanted to meet in person to really kick this project off for next year. So we went up there. Cool team, man. Like these guys are all like chill, down to earth, like really just family oriented. And when you walk into their office, it's like, it's so inspiring to see like 3 floors dedicated to just like their business. And the best part about it, that was their temporary office, that energy. They actually purchased one of the old, not a mill, but like an old convenience store from the late 1800s, like this big historic building. And they're basically gutting it. Like I have pictures, I'll show you what they look like when I see you. And it's just like so inspiring that a company that started like maybe 5 years ago got to this level in 5 years without even taking funding up until last year, So it was inspiring for me. And I even said to Jamal, like, these are the kind of people we got to work with. Like they started as Swiss Army knives. These people working for the company, they all developed into their own roles now, where they're very specific. They take action, they execute on the goal, and they make it happen, man. So that was Sacramento. Then we drove down to San Francisco, stayed there the night. I had a couple calls. Jamal was exhausted, so he took a little nap. I ended up just like, walking around the hotel, going down to the bar, getting a nice mixed margarita, and just chilling there, just enjoying it. Like, wow, I'm in San Francisco. I just did this whole thing, and I have to go to LA now to go film our white label course, right, for all the white label agencies that we have. And I'm just like, I didn't practice at all, man. Like I've been building this course for the last month, so I knew what I was talking about in my head. But when it came to like word for word scripting, like I was nervous for myself. Like, oh, am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? But then I said, you know what? Who cares? I know the content. I know the information. Ask me and you'll get anything you want, in terms of white labeling. Early next day, we flew down to LA. We meet our buddy Stefan. He's like a producer, man, and he's up and coming. His way of taking a narrative and then taking, visual cinema with audio and transgressing this to be like a really impactful video, whatever it is. He did a killer job for us. I was a little bit nervous going into that, but man, this guy was like professional. I saw his professionalism. I'm just like, I'm professional too, bro.
Stepping up, right? Yeah, you surround yourself with the best, and then that's, you have to perform better, right? There's no doubt.
Yeah, exactly. So that whole thing I was thinking about, I didn't memorize my script, blah, 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 whatever. I'm like, you know what? I know this stuff. I saw his professionalism, how he knew his stuff. That's how I knew our stuff as well, right? And I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. And they had it set up in a way where it's like I can still read from the iPad, like what it's saying word for word. That was the time to just glance over and stuff. And so that was really excited, man. We were there for 2 days in LA.
Cool.
By the way, we tried that restaurant, that Italian restaurant you went to. Not going back there ever again. So next time, I hope you give us better recommendations.
Yeah. So from LA, then you went over to New York.
Yes. New York was like, so actually, funny enough. So we flew over to New York, and before even flying to New York, man, we had a whole United flight booked. Everything was nice. We get to the airport. Flight was delayed a little bit, 15, 20 minutes, the regular stuff. We get on the plane, man, and like me and Jamal, like ready to go. He's watching his movie. I'm thinking about what I'm going to be watching. I'm on my phone, like planning out my next 5 hours on this flight from LA to New York. And then all of a sudden, the pilot goes, he's like, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid to let you know that we have to deplane this aircraft. We're having technical issues with the bathroom, with the lavatories. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? They can't flush the toilet? And like all of a sudden, we all can't fly. Anyway, so we deplane the aircraft. As we're deplaning the aircraft, we're like, man, thank God it's Sunday. Because if this was a Monday and we had all our stuff booked, we'd be, so we properly planned that out. And now we came to the second plane, no problems, took off. Luckily, we both slept, got to cold New York, man. Like just getting out and feeling that brisk cold air, you're closer to home because the next stop is Toronto. Yeah, and New York was good. So in New York, we had a client, Grata. They're a mid-market data centralized portal for companies to go look for different data points, very similar to like ZoomInfo and SourceGrub. And we met with their marketing director and the rest of the team over there, and we really set out what the agenda is going to be for 2023. And we went there to educate them, and we had a surprise for them. We brought them like a new homepage that they weren't expecting. We're like, listen, based on all the stuff that we know that you probably know, but you're not aware of it just yet, we took the liberty to create a full new homepage for whatever you think, whatever you want, right? And when I say whatever you want, they knew right away they wanted the leads, they wanted the MQLs. So they loved it, and like I think, giving value came in 2 ways. One, we flew to New York from LA exhausted. We did a website at no cost. So we basically spent our money and our time to actually go see them in person and solidify that relationship. Although them as a company, they're not at that level where we want them to be, like our top 20% clients, but they have a lot of potential to do so. And their growth is just like, I can see it skyrocketing, just going hockey stick in the near future. So shortly after that, we flew back to Toronto. That was a quick and short flight. Also mechanical issues with that flight, so we had to wait for another plane to come, believe it or not. It was just like an unlucky time to travel, I guess, and came back to Toronto, and, holidays were here. Time to just kind of relax, recharge, plan for the new year, and see where we're at, man. So, right. Yeah, intense, but very eventful, very, my awareness just came up. I leveled up in terms of just like seeing how these clients think and what's in their minds, and some of the trends that I'm going to start seeing in 2023 have been validated from meeting those people. Right.
I think it's cool. I think one of the things really that I see that Veza Digital sets itself apart, and is that when you go to a restaurant and you don't know the restaurant, and the waiter comes up and it feels like the waiter anticipates your every move. Like you don't know what you don't know, and you get there and you're like, wow, I didn't think I was going to order the duck, but it's like so amazing, And so basically it's this anticipation of something. Well, I think there's another level beyond that, and that is being able to anticipate your anticipation, And I think that really makes Veza Digital stand out. In other words, what you just told me is something like that. And that is, hey, I didn't expect a brand new homepage, and here you go. And you guys need this. And on top of that, we know where you guys could potentially end up, and we're going to help you get there. I think a lot of digital agencies now basically just want to make a website, sell you some SEO, and that's it. And the difference, I think, with us is that we think ahead 2 years for every single client that we have. They don't even know we do this, right? So we anticipate certain trends in the market, which our team knows. We're in there. Why do we know that? Because exactly what you just said. You travel all over the country, you meet people, you meet them, you see their offices, you get to feel what they're like, you get to talk to the owners, you get to talk to the staff, and 99.9% of the companies do not do that. They have some team in the Philippines or something like that, and whatever it is. So, when somebody comes to us and says, wow, you guys charge a lot for a website. No, we don't. We don't charge you anything for a website. We charge for our experience. We charge for having our fingers on the pulse. We know how you will grow in the next couple of years. And that, I think, is really, really valuable when it comes to Veza Digital, right? So that's really cool. That's why I wanted to ask you about that. I think that that point is really, really, really important, And one of the things I wanted to ask you, and I think a lot of people probably want to know is, like when you first started, 5-6 years ago, what was your motivation? Was it making money? Was it to have something that's a business? Everybody wants to have a business and all that, but like what do you think made you actually start a digital agency?
I think starting a digital agency was the easiest thing to get cash flow with low risk. You're providing a service. It's the oldest thing in the world, right? Providing a service for someone. It's just your time that goes into it, right? So I believe that I started with the intention of just getting time freedom, man. Like I had a good service. I had a lot of knowledge in marketing growth, and I really wanted to extend that opportunity to other people. And early on in Veza, I was a glorified marketing consultant. And I slowly actually developed it into an agency because I was always thinking about scalability. How can I add more value? Because I only know so much. And there's people out there who know much more than me, that are better than me, that I can help give that value to my clients. And so that's the high level overview of Veza Digital, how we started.
Okay, cool. So other things to talk about. Who do you think would be a perfect client for Veza Digital? Like what does a perfect client look like to you think?
Ideal clients for us, man, is really we're looking for founders of B2B SaaS companies that we can help with an engineering background, with a finance background, even marketing background is really, really good too, because we help them see a different perspective, right? And so we've been helping these people now, and we speak the same language. We know what's going on for the last 3-4 years. It's been, that market that we've been servicing, and we've been doing a really good job at it as well.
Right. And how many people work at Veza Digital now?
Yeah, well, right now we're near 40. I think just over 40 actually, 41.
Right. Amazing. And where do you see Veza Digital being in 2-3 years? Like what are your expectations?
My expectations right now is really I want Veza Digital to be a launch pad for us. What I mean by that is we have consistent cash flow to reinvest the company into different products and ideas that we have. It's a launch pad to attract the best talent in terms of people who understand creative skill and want to actually contribute to something bigger than them. And as an agency, we attract the best, right? And that's our goal. Number 3 is deal flow. As an agency, a lot of ideas come to us, right? And a lot of different deals are coming over our desk, whether it's marketing deals, whether it's, small little projects, whether it's a company looking for investor relations help and raising capital. Veza Digital 2-3 years is really that like agency / like brokerage, right? And I want to keep it like that. And I think we're going to basically, win by giving value, and by giving value, we're going to attract all that value to us and give it to our clients.
Right. I think one of the cool things is that a lot of the, products and services that Veza Digital sells, we actually use ourselves, so to speak, right? Like, for example, we sell SEO services, and, we're number 1 and 2 for certain keywords, right? So a lot of agencies out there, they say they can do certain things and everything like that, but there's no evidence of it, right?
Yeah.
walking through some of the initiatives like SEO and different things that, are really working for us as an agency. And then we can actually, even, prove, so to speak, to other companies that, hey, we're doing it for ourselves. There's no reason, we can't do it for your company, right?
Well, look, man, we're doing this podcast now. Next year, if I correctly predict, people are going to want to start their own podcasts, right? And like, we're leading the way of doing that. So whatever we sell, whatever value we want to give to people, we already did it ourselves to build our service-based business and attract those three things I mentioned earlier, right? And we can replicate those exact same systems and frameworks and knowledge to any company that works with us. Like our own SEO, man, we've invested thousands of dollars. I think we're actually near hundreds of thousands, like $100,000 in our own SEO that we've invested, right? Everything from content, from our website performance, to backlinks, to doing partnerships with different outlets and stuff, different paid media outlets, PR, all of that. It compounds, right? Early on, you don't see results from SEO, but after time, man, like, you know how they say when hits the fan, shit hits the fan. When honey hits the honey dip, like, you have that sweet honey, right? And right. I think that's the point we're at right now. We have all of our stuff because we're leading by example, and I think that's what we want to continue doing. And you asked me now, like, what's my long-term goal? I still want to be leading by example, man. And that's how we're going to lead by example.
I mean, I looked at some of the stats for SEO, and it's like, it's staggering. The growth year over year. I mean, the impressions, the views, it's into the millions, and we're talking triple-digit growth. And I've been in the industry for 17 years, and man, I don't know if I've seen anything like that. It's surprising to me. And I think that all the effort and work that you guys have put into this, it's really starting to show, and it's just going to geometrically grow, right? So it's, again, we're doing it for ourselves, but at the same time, we're showing other companies how they can be successful and being able to add so much value. I mean, I had so many meetings with Jamal when he was here for 2-3 weeks, and we sat down and we're like, all we really talked about, and that's really important, is how do we add value to all our customers? Like, what does that look like? And we sat there for hours brainstorming, can we do this? Can we do this? And all those things are, half of them are free, and half of them are, intensive in terms of capital, whatever. But at the end of the day, we really try to add value to every single company, and I think that when you're coming from that perspective, you can't fail, because the companies that want to be helped are going to be helped. The companies that don't want to be helped and don't want to, do the work, so to speak, you can't hold their hand, So that's why, with us, we even focus on the top 20% of the market. And yeah, we are a little more expensive, and it's not for every company, but we'll help you grow. I mean, Jamal and I were talking about it, and we were increasing some budgets for some companies and everything. And I basically, told them, I said, well, when you look at this in a year, this line item is going to be laughable, but it's going to create 100x the investment that you just did. As a matter of fact, we're going to go back and say, why didn't we charge you more? So it's really cool to be able to grow with these companies and being able to show them. One of the things that was really interesting is that when you flew to LA and you were in the studio and everything, so you're coming up with a course, right? Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I think some of the people listening are going to be super interested in that. Like, what does that look like, and how does it work, and how is it going to benefit some of our clients and potential clients?
Yeah, the course is really simple. Over the last couple of years, we spent our time building a network of different agencies that all specialize in different types of niches, right? We have people that are really good at SEO, and they're the best SEO people. No question about it. We have people that are really good at web design, and they win awards for these kinds of things. Dribble awards, like Clutch awards, the top awards you can get for design. We know people who know how to advertise, like advertising ninjas, man, like turtle ninjas that know how to split test, multitask, and do things at rapid implementation to get the quickest result in the lowest amount of time. And our network has allowed for us to really, really have good expansion into capabilities, right? The problem is a lot of new agencies, they struggle to understand, what is the best way to do this, right? we agreed earlier, it's a very saturated industry. Anyone listening to me now, specifically that's in the agency space, they know it's saturated. So what makes you different? How can you be different? And this course is basically a step-by-step formula that I use to build Veza Digital, how we use white labeling, right? How we reached up to the best, got their white label rates, and sold the best as us, right? And did a JV with another agency to provide that really good service. We did the sales, we did the account management, some PM, and we delivered really good results because we were the guys in charge of the relationship, and the relationship was dependent on the results. So we find the relationship, we get the result for them by using a trusted source that can get what they want in that time period. So this course is that, man. It's laying out the whole blueprint that we did at Veza Digital in the last 4 years, specifically when it comes to white labeling. And I think it's the best. Think about drop shipping, but agency services. That's the most simplest way to put it.
Amazing. Yeah, I think it's going to be super successful. I'm looking forward to seeing it myself. That's something that I know if I wanted to, either start an agency or take my agency to another level, that is going to help them 100%. It's just a matter of watching it and actually going through. It's like going to the gym, right? You don't go to the gym twice a year and expect to have muscles. It doesn't work that way, right? Mm-hmm. So the people that we really want to attract are doers, people that actually, are going to be serious about it. And that goes back to our philosophy. Veza Digital doesn't take everybody into their ecosystem. We don't want that. We want to get people that are going to grow with us. We're going to grow with them. We're going to help them. I think that's really super important. So when you talk about a saturated industry, yes, but at the top, it's not saturated, right? And I think that a lot of companies are looking for companies like us to be able to help them and be genuine about it, and know who we are and be able to, again, look behind the curtain. And that's what this podcast is all about, right? To get to know us, to get to know how we work, how we think. And, I'm super excited about some of the guests we're going to have on. I mean, I myself have a lineup of people that already want to be on the podcast. I mean, people that have started from nothing and built, multi-million dollar company, multi-billion dollar companies. We have a few people like that lined up. And it's going to be just amazing to get their feel and their opinions on us, and also get into their mindset and where they started and how they started. Because a lot of times I think people just look at these, rich entrepreneurs as, these guys just got lucky. There's like no luck involved. I mean, there's some luck, no doubt. But I mean, they say you create your own luck and all that, right? But I think that it's going to be really cool, even for myself, to hear some of their stories, because that's what it's all about. I mean, life is about stories. It's about how did we make this? How did we do this? How did we fail? Did it hurt? Was that breakup hurtful? I lost all this money. I did this, and then people realize that we're all just here to basically have a good time and try to be as happy and productive as possible, and enjoy the ride. Right? I think that's a lot of times people forget about that, right? They just want to make money, and then you die. So that's, I think, that lifestyle also that gives us the edge, because we love to travel and have a good time. We love to go around the world. We love to meet different people, to get different perspectives. And to tell you the truth, we need that. We have to have that global perspective. Like if you're just sitting somewhere in, I don't know, Ohio or something, and nothing against Ohio, how in the world are you going to be able to have a global perspective? It's not possible, So, with us, we're planning on opening up a couple of new offices internationally as well, to add to our 3 or 4 we have now, and be able to get a team that basically is so well-rounded in the international space that, we're going to be able to, hit all companies from all over the world, right? So excellent.
Exactly.
I really like it.
Yeah, awesome, man. And I'm really looking forward to this podcast series. Like now we have a plan. We're going to stick to it, but it's obviously going to develop differently. I think when we meet up in person, we'll do like one in person as well.
Sure.
Like this, and we'll take some questions for people in terms of like what topics they want us to cover. I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I think what we're going to try to do is some of the heavy hitters we have, we're going to try to go to maybe their houses and their palaces and their villas, and be able to, see how they live, and hopefully have them relaxed and be able to talk to them. I think it's going to be great. Awesome. Let's see a couple more things. First podcast, like I said, we're going to look back onto this maybe even 10 years from now. So it's a brand new year. It's January the 3rd, I think. Here it's the 2nd there. What are some of your, I'm not going to call them resolutions, but call them intentions. What are some of your New Year's intentions? My
intention in 2023, man, is I want to develop myself into really my core, my own true self, right? Yes, that the end result is become a better man, right? Become, a man's man. Everyone's a better man. And I think it's a conscious effort to do that, despite, not looking at external attachments that help validate. I think now that I have to focus more on, myself becoming the best I can be, because, man, we're growing rapidly and everyone's as good as their leader. So I want to make sure that in 2023, I have the mental energy to be able to support our team to go ahead and do cool things like this podcast and different initiatives we have at Veza, and providing a really good service and result for our clients. So 2023 for me, man, is about really just focusing on myself, intentionally actually putting myself in situations where I can grow, right? For example, the gym is one thing. When I don't feel like going, I still got to go every single day. Doesn't matter if it's Sunday or Saturday, I have to go, show up every single day. Learning. So like now I'm intentionally reading different types of books, and I want to, get more knowledge now while I have more time on my hands, especially during the season, and see how I can apply that knowledge to my own personal growth. And then also, obviously, a result of that is the whole overall growth of our community at Veza. And obviously, I think most importantly is focusing on the most important things in the business. And now, as I spent the last 6 years building Veza from the front, I think this year I'm going to build it now as a supporting asset. I'm still going to be obviously, there, but I'm going to let the other leaders in the company now grow their divisions, and I'm going to support them and give them all the autonomy they need to hit their goals.
That's awesome. Well, I think that one of the biggest values that you bring to Veza Digital, and truly everybody that you have contacted, is your infectious energy. It's your optimism. It's your ability to see the future in a way, right? Being able to anticipate things that are going to happen, and just being a good guy. I like hanging out with you. I think a lot of people love hanging out with you. I think that's really important. A lot of people are introverted. You're totally extroverted, and you like to work hard, and you like to have a good time as well. And I think it shows with the people that you hire, and that people that you surround yourself with. I think it's really cool. So I think hat off. You're doing a good thing. You're still young. When I was in your age bracket, I think I was trying to find my way as well, and I think it's really fun. So I'll be there to help you and help Veza Digital and be able to guide you guys the best I can, and I'm super excited about that as well.
Honestly, man, I'm so excited for this, man, and I'm so inspired by you as well, and I think you're a big support and motivation to everyone, not just me.
I appreciate it.